Siakam is an Indiana Pacer. That's not something I thought I would say this year. Like that's very surprising. If you didn't know, and if you were living under a rock, Pascal Siakam is now the Indiana Pacers in a three-team deal. And this three-team deal included the Pacers, of course, Raptors, of course, and for some reason the Pelicans. Like I guess the Pelicans just wanted to be involved, and no one's even talking about their involvement because they literally got nothing back except for cap relief, which is a fancy way of saying they just got rid of assets that they did not want. One of them, which was Kira Lewis. But the full details of this trade goes that the Pacers got Pascal Siakam and a second round pick. The Raptors got Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, Kira Lewis from the Pelicans. They got 3 first round picks, 2 of which are 2024 first round picks. One is the Pacers first round pick. Another one is a first round pick that could either be from the Jazz, Rockets, or Clippers or Thunder. It's coming from one of the deals they've done. And then you have the last first round pick, which is a 2026 one from the Pacers. And then, like I said, the Pelicans just got cap relief. I love this deal for the Pacers for a multitude of reasons. Like, this whole entire season so far, the Pacers have been one of the most fun teams to watch. I mean, they regularly score in the 130s to 120s. And the bad part about it is the team they're normally playing also normally scores that much. Like, this team has been so much fun to watch offensively, but downright abysmal defensively. So a conversation that's been had many times this year is them going out there and acquiring a veteran wing. And honestly, I didn't really see a path for them to do that after OG got sent to the Knicks. And I was just like, I don't think they get it done this year. I think they may just have to ride this year out with this team, which is fine because this is literally the first year of this Tyrese Halliburton-led Pacers team, and there should not be any rush. But I understand them wanting to get this done now because it's better to go and try and win now than just to wait. Because then it's like, what if you just miss your window? Championship windows are short in every sport. And then NBA is longer than most because of player health and how basketball, even though it's a team sport, at times it can be very heliocentric, and it really just matters on whether your best player is better than another team's best player. And honestly, right now, the Pacers have a top 10 player in Tyrese Halliburton. Argue with the wall. He's that good. He's on that type of level this year. So they said they put all their chips in the middle and said, we're going to get an all-star. We're going to get Pascal Siakam. And I love this for the Pacers. Mainly because when I look at this deal, they didn't give away any of their young talent. When I saw reports of them getting really serious about Pascal Siakam, I thought that they would have to either give up Benedict Mathurin or Trace Walker. And me personally, if I was the Raptors, those would be 2 people that I would be clamoring for a lot, that I would really, really, really want. Especially Benedict Mathurin, if I am the Toronto Raptors. And it's kind of amazing that they did not have to give up any of those 2 players. I mean, they didn't even have to give up Obi Toppin. I mean, yes, Bruce Brown is a rotational piece, but Pascal Siakam really can do almost all the things Bruce Brown does, but better, and he's bigger. So it's like, that's an upgrade. And like I said, you still have Benedict Mathurin, you still have Trace Walker, you still have Obi Toppin, you still have like Jalen Smith, who doesn't even really play that much. Like, they still have their young pieces, and they still have another trade asset in Buddy Hield. Like, they can still go out there and potentially make more moves to improve this team. And also, they had an influx of picks. The Pacers had surprisingly a lot of first-round picks. So really, them giving up 3 first-round picks isn't really huge. And like, for instance, they gave up 2 first-round picks in the same year, one of which weren't even their picks. And with the amount of young talent this team has, in my opinion, I see no problem with giving up draft picks, because at the end of the day, you run into this problem where it's like you just keep getting younger and younger, and there's not room for these players to really grow into what they should be. And now it's like you just had those first-round picks. You don't have to worry about those no more. You just have to worry about the core you have right now, which is really good. A core of Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Benedict Mathurin, Miles Turner, hopefully Trace Walker. I know he isn't playing a lot right now, but I am really, really high on him. As y'all probably seen when I did my favorite draft picks of, last year's drafts, I am really high on what this team has and what they're building. And Pascal Siakam, to me, fits in seamlessly. They needed a big wing who can defend and also take a little bit of pressure off Tyrese Halliburton when it comes to, the demand of having the ball so much. And Pascal can do that. He can score on his own while also being able to fit into the offense that Tyrese likes to run when he has the ball in his hands. He can cut, he can run the floor, and he can shoot. And also, like I said, when he gets that ball in his hands, he can get a basket if need be, and also he can defend. They needed a big wing to defend because when you're in the Eastern Conference, you play a lot of bigger wings and forwards, and it's good to have someone you can put on them. Like now, if they're playing the Celtics, you can put Pascal on Jason Tatum. If you're playing the Bucks, you can put Pascal now on Giannis and have Miles Turner roam. Like you have options for these things now. Before, the only option was to score more points, and that still is the same thing because I don't believe one player can come in there and change your entire defense. And while I do think Pascal Siakam is a good defender, he is not to that level. There is a certain level of defender that can do that. He is not one of those, but he is still a really good defensive player. And also, they're 7th in the conference right now, and they've only gotten better. They got an all-star without having to give up an all-star. In this league, it's very hard to go out there and acquire an all-star without having to kind of, give away too much or oversell or leave your team, bereft of any assets or draft picks. And this team still has assets and draft picks. Like they still have the young pieces to go out there and make another move if need be. And if you're Indiana, you understand you have to do that because you're not a free agent destination. Even though I think a lot of players should want to play with Tyrese because he's a pass-first point guard who's going to set you up and make it easier for you offensively, it's Indiana. Indiana's a hard place to get people to want to come free agency, especially stars. So you're going to have to go out there and trade for them and show them how good it is in Indiana. And this is them doing it. And they can go out there and really do more if they want to. Like, I guarantee you there is some team out there that would take Benedict Mathurin and Trace Walker. Like, imagine if now they pivot to wanting to get Mikal Bridges and give up Benedict Mathurin and maybe another first-round pick. Or Trace Walker and maybe another first-round pick. Beautiful. Like, they still have options and places to go from here, but they also just got better. Like, they were 7th in the conference, and I'm pretty sure before Tyrese got hurt, they were higher than that. And now, magically, it's looking like Tyrese Halliburton is now questionable. So it's like, it's all coming together. And I like this happening before the All-Star break because you get to go into the All-Star break knowing what you have and being able to, build some type of team rapport. Doing a trade like this, like after the All-Star break or during it, doesn't give your team the ability to, welcome somebody in and get used to their play style and understand how they need to play with Pascal. And the one thing about it is this is not a this year move. This is the next 2 to 3 years to move because while this does make the Pacers a lot better and makes them officially now a dark horse to a scary team to play in the playoffs, they're not a contender yet. They need more time. They need to get a lot better on defense because I personally believe you can't be a contender if your defense is that terrible. I don't care how good your offense is. In the playoffs, defenses get better. It's harder to score. So you need a better defense. And like I said before, Pascal's a really good defender. He just doesn't change the defense that much. But I still love what the Pacers are doing. Like I love this trade for them. Now, let's talk about the Raptors' perspective in all of this because their haul is pretty interesting. First of all, getting 3 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam is huge, given that I saw reports that he didn't really want to sign. He wouldn't re-sign anywhere he went to, and he really wanted to test free agency. So getting 3 first-round picks for that type of guy is big, especially a team where they don't really have too many picks. I mean, you traded away OG Anunoby, and you got 0 picks back. Yes, you got 2 pretty good young pieces in Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett, but you got no picks. And honestly, picks are a big thing because picks could either turn into another trade and it also just gives you the option of choosing the young piece you want to add to this team. Now, it's funny. This is like the complete opposite of the OG trade where they got young pieces but no picks. They got young pieces. They got no young building blocks as of right now, but a good amount of picks. I mean, Bruce Brown, he's not that young, and he's probably somebody who's not going to be there in the next 2 years because if you're fully committing to a rebuild, Bruce Brown really doesn't have too much of a place on this team. I mean, he could be a nice little spark plug, a nice little scorer to have, but but I can see a contending team really having a good use for him. And maybe next year at the trade deadline, we see Bruce Brown's name get brought up a lot, and maybe you could flip him into a first round pick. And then it's like Jordan Nwora, Kyra Lewis, we have not seen that man play since he's entered the league. So, like, maybe Kyra Lewis can turn into a pretty good player. Maybe Jordan Nwora can find his next step. And maybe Bruce Brown is just much better than I think. But they didn't really get much back player-wise as of right now. But I do like they finally committed to a direction. The Raptors were one of those teams in the NBA, like, along with the Bulls, where they didn't really have a direction. And for the longest, I thought the direction was clear, which was to rebuild around Scottie, since out of all the teams that don't have a direction, you have a young piece, a young future all-star to build around or add somebody else to, where it's like you shouldn't feel bad about rebuilding. You got the hard part out the way. You got your building block. Find pieces to go around that. And that's what they're doing now, and I like that for them. And it's funny, I have one of my really good friends is a Raptors fan. I don't know why the fuck he is a Raptors fan. Like, it's a very random thing. And right when I saw the notification about Pascal Siakam, I didn't even get to read the rest. He called my phone like, what the fuck? We didn't get nothing. And yes, it kind of looks like that. But you get picks and you get him out of there. You have a direction. I think having a direction, while yes, it would have been nice to get back a lot more, it's also good that you now have direction. You now know which way you're going as an organization. You're not stuck in this weird purgatory where we're competing or are we not? Like, yeah. So the Raptors are going to be a very interesting team to me. Like, they have a lot going on there. A lot of interesting pieces and parts. And for a team that drafts really well, I mean, first round picks are great for them. I mean, like I said, they found Scottie. Masir Ujiri. I don't know how to say the Raptors GM's name, but he has been very good at finding diamonds in the rough. I mean, that Raptors team that won a championship, besides Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, and Kawhi Leonard, all the other pieces were homegrown, were drafted, were found by Musa Ujiri. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. I hope that's the right name in general, because I would look very stupid. I don't like looking like that. But yeah, I love this trade for the Pacers because you get better to a team that's already so fun to watch and so young without losing any of that young talent. And for the Raptors, the haul is very interesting. It may not be what you thought you would get when it comes to players wise, but you have a direction, which in my opinion is really good. But yeah, I love y'all. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And down in the comments below, give me your opinions on this trade. Do you think the Pacers have enough to go out there and make another move down the road? Do you think this is exactly what they're needing and they're now in contention? And what the fuck were the Pelicans doing here?